Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
I want to start, if we can, with a quick word about the Met Commissioner, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe. He's got only a one-year extension to his contract, and of course at the same time he's just asked a judge to look at how the Met has been dealing with historical sex abuse inquiries. Are these things connected? Do you think this has cast a shadow over his tenure?
I wouldn't say it's cast a shadow until that has been investigated. For me, the 1 year makes a lot of sense because of the mayoral election. So for that continuity. So I think it's good news. Because
what it gives Keir Starmer, a new incoming mayor, a kind of an ability to legitimise Bernard Hogan-Howe in place, if you like.
Yeah, I think the relationship between the mayor and the commissioner is a really important one, and it makes sense for that incoming mayor to have the chance to look at what he or she wants. But I mean, I worked with Bernard when I was Director of Public Prosecutions. He's a very good commissioner. Pragmatic, hands-on, and I think on all the big things in London, he's done a very good job, actually.
Does it look to you, though, that he's had to bring in this judge to look at the way they do things, and has also raised questions about whether we regard victims or their account in the same way? What does that say to you?
Well, I think he's right to have a review. I think you should always look at any issue such as this, check the way things have been done, get somebody to look independently at what's been done. I mean, with victims, we veer from one side of the road to the other and have been doing this for years, and we've got to be careful not to steer and oversteer the whole time. I think he's right to get a review.
And what's your observation been about how this has become highly politicised, and of course this sense of whether he should be apologising to people?
Well, apologies are always difficult for any investigation. If we were to apologise every time someone was investigated and not charged, there would have had to have been an apology to Jimmy Savile, because of course he was investigated and not charged. I don't think many people would be comfortable with the idea that as a general rule, when someone's investigated and not charged, they should be entitled to an apology. If, of course, it transpires that something went wrong with a particular investigation, then of course there should be an apology. But I don't think it should follow as a rule that if it's an investigation that doesn't lead to a charge, there should be an apology. But let's see what the review brings. I'm sure, Bernard, if the review says, in this case something went wrong, I think he would apologise.
And Tanya, you said, of course, yes, it was important for the mayoralty, but do you think this has cast a shadow over his tenure, the whole case?
No, because I think people will judge him on crime generally for London and the good results that London has had. But also what I was wondering on the apology, that is then, can you not acknowledge people's experience, their hurt, without legally saying, that you didn't make a mistake?
Well, I think, well, answer that, but he has actually expressed regret, I think.
You can,
right,
and it's right. It's a huge strain on anybody who's investigating circumstances like that, and you can acknowledge it, and we should acknowledge it.
Okay.
Because, of course, if someone isn't charged, then they're entitled to be treated entirely as innocent people. It should be acknowledged. But I just think the general rule or the general feeling there should be an apology is troublesome because, do we really think Jimmy Savile should have got an apology? We'd be horrified now.
Absolutely.
If he had, and we'd be talking about whether that was appropriate.
Anyway, we must move on because we have a lot to get through, as you know.